Welcome to the CenterPoint Show. We are trying to give 5 minutes, little snippets of what's happening in the markets today. Today is October 7th and it's beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I have Grant Toogood, myself is Cameron.
Yeah, the point of this is just to have some news that's going on in the markets, stuff that's going on in the world. Very short clips, maybe you're on your way to work or whatever. Just touch points that I think these things are very important that we talk about, bring to the forefront. I would say number one, gold crossing 4,000 an ounce is a big deal. Gold's had a really good year, up over 50% in US dollar terms this year. So it's big because you got the debt and deficit situation, which has gotten worse. I mean, we think about the start of the year with the promise of Doge and all that stuff. But the math said different things, right?
Math ain't mathin'.
And you have this global, I would say, debasement trade. So every currency is effectively melting. You've had the dollar down 10% this year, which has been one of the worst years ever. So you've had a lot of demand in Costco selling out of their gold bars in literally 2 minutes.
The gold bugs are coming out of the crawl spaces.
So I think that's super notable as a trade. And Cam, maybe just talk a little bit about what's going on with OpenAI, what's going on with some of the deals that are getting announced are insane.
Yeah. So shifting from the gold to the equity side of things, we've seen OpenAI with the AI. It's kind of like the space race back in the Cold War. You know, you had Russia, United States. Who can get to the moon first? Who can get to space first? Right.
In terms of capital spending. Right?
Yeah, we see the same thing right now with AI. Right. We have OpenAI in the center of it, and you have NVIDIA, Broadcom. You have all these huge companies coming out. You know, even banks are coming out investing in OpenAI. Right.
Yep.
And by the way, OpenAI is a nonprofit organization. You know,
nonprofit.
$500 billion nonprofit, not so bad. But anyways, it's kind of that Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing, who's going to invest, right? And we're all doing it, right? They're all the Spider-Man in that meme. It also kind of reminds me of the Three Stooges when he pulled out $20 and was like, hey, you owe me $10. Well, here you go. And the guy's like, well, you owe me $10. And they just keep passing dollar around. It's just the same thing what's happening in the AI.
Super interesting. One of the other things is you're seeing the U.S. government take equity, option, and even warrant stakes in companies. So mainly, think about the rare earth, the metals, the infrastructure companies, critical materials that you need to build data centers. Think about batteries, electric cars, all the things, the grid. Think about all these materials that go into there. The U.S. is realizing, oh, hold up, we don't make things in this country, and now supply chains and that plays into the national security risk. Think of COVID when stuff shut down. So now we need to expend part of our budget to rein all this in, to bring money into these sectors, because we're going to scramble. If we don't get a hold of this is the space race that we're talking about. So we saw another company, Trilogy Metals, which I've never heard of until today, TMQ, surged over 200% because the U.S. government put a 10% stake in there. So we saw Intel, we saw a couple other rare earth companies that the U.S. is essentially expanding their portfolio. But we're going to see more of this. We're going to see, what are the areas where the government is seeing a strategic importance to invest in now. And so these are things that we're watching out for. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
In mind?
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your day.